I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a moment of silent prayer for not only our town, but our country right now. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, it is the 4th of April. Wow, we're in the 4th month already of April. We're in the Count Bath Municipal Center. Can I have the roll call, please?
Scott Murphy.
Here.
Rick Weber.
Here.
Greg Thorney.
Here.
Rose Jackson. Here. Elizabeth Skinner. Here. Chris Chapman.
Here.
Susan Lester here. Okay.
Full council. All right, can we have the review of the minutes from the 21st of March meeting? I'll take any additions or corrections and common consent if everybody, everything looked good when I reviewed them.
Good for me.
A lot happened. last
Everybody
week.
good? Okay, common consent, guys?
Yep.
All right, let's see, communications from mayor, since we don't have anybody right now, persons before council. Couple things, we've received a letter regarding the clarification from planning commission. I'm going to, Larry, did you correct that letter, or did, I know he had some typo and he's kind of all.
Yeah, it's kind of all over the map because he initially sent a letter, we sent a response, and then he sent which is cited here with Sharon.
Right.
And he cited a couple things, and we both reviewed it several times, said, okay, do we owe him anything? And she said, okay. So she sent it back. So I think we've already done the coordination and it's closed, but it is good notification. But if anybody, and that was from her, I said, Sharon, do I need to do anything else? She goes, no, you're good. So,
Yeah, when did you do that? Because he
it's
sent,
had to have been 10 days ago.
he sent a letter on the 27th, and it says, per our conversation on Friday afternoon, I'm resending the below email and ask that you provide the letter to Mr. Landon as well as the town mayor and council for the next town council meeting under the agenda item of incoming correspondence. As discussed, the email was to correct the incorrect information Mr. Landon briefed at the 21 February town council meeting. While I realize the month has nearly passed, but I believe it's important to provide this to both Mr. Landon and the town council. Was that?
And I have received a copy. That was
Right.
one of his requests that I have
Okay.
received a copy.
And you got that taken care of.
That's all I have gotten.
enough.
I've gotten the request.
Good enough. Good enough. All right. Thank you.
Certainly.
Thank you for responding to that. Okay, and then the next thing we have is, again, Dave Abruzzi. He sent us a letter request to fix errors on the SHPO map, which I don't have any idea. I'm going to refer that to the Historical Landmark Commission to let them check into and find out what he's actually saying that there's an error on there. So we'll forward that to the Landmarks Commission on that. So anyway, and we'll move down. I know that we had canceled Make It Shine for this past weekend, and it's going to be on the 15th,
That
right?
is correct.
Okay.
Same time, 9:30 to 12.
Okay.
And
Uh,
by the way, it was canceled in most locations in West Virginia.
Yeah, I would
So
imagine.
we weren't the
Yep.
only ones.
Yeah. Okay. That takes care of that. We have an Arbor Day proclamation that we do every year for Arbor Day. Does council want me to read it or have somebody read it, or do we just want to? It's basically the same thing we do every year.
It is.
So can we go ahead and sign it? And
Yeah, it's basically trees are good except that they're in your septic system.
right,
Then they're not.
right, then
They're
they're
so
bad.
long, they're not.
right.
I make a motion, we sign the proclamation, the Arbor Day tree proclamation.
Second.
I have a motion and second to sign the Arbor Day proclamation. Any discussion?
I
All
do
those,
want to let you know that the state of West Virginia is very thankful for the work of Bass Tree Board, especially with the leadership of Kate Lehman and Andy Schwing and Larry Straight. They really have done some amazing work, not only in the town, but throughout the watershed. So, along with Rebecca, so they really deserve our thanks for everything they do
Absolutely.
for the
Absolutely.
well-being of town. And it really is an honor for us to be able to participate in the Arbor Day event. So they have a tree all set up in location, so we're all set with that.
Good, good. Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, so that's done. We have partners in, it's down to-
Partners in Prevention Recognition Breakfast, which is tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, and you're supposed to RSVP by March 24th.
Okay, well, we just got it, so,
And the breakfast has to do with awards on child abuse and prevention and people working with children.
all right. All right, well, we got that taken care of, and then we do have the fair housing, proclamation. Basically the same thing we do every year, because we have to have this, because the proclamation needs to be done because we have received small city block grant money for water lines. So it's basically the same as we do every year. Does council want me to read it, or do you want to just move on with it?
I make a motion that the council will approve the mayor signing off on the Fair Housing Month proclamation for the town of Bath for the month of April.
My second.
We have a motion, a second on the floor for the proclamation for the Fair Housing Month. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Okay, that's basically all I have right now. So let's move on to the Bath Development Authority. We don't have any on here for that tonight.
Things, well, they put them under Train Depot, and I can
Okay,
talk to them.
all right.
but We
Right,
talked, we made some
right.
decisions.
So we'll handle that one. Parks and Recs, nobody's here for Parks and Recs. Planning Commission.
Good evening or afternoon still. We're going to be meeting this Thursday for our monthly meeting. We are going to be discussing public safety. Our new chief of police is going to come in. Just the intent is to give a discussion so he can see the lens that we're looking at public safety through from the planning commission side, and then we can get his guidance on those same topics. So again, open the discussion with that committee to what we're doing. So that's it.
Okay, thank you, Larry. All right, anybody questions for Larry? Okay. All right, let's move on to rails and trails.
Apparently, the new contract for the bypass contacted the county about utilizing some of the trail property. They're looking at now, but nothing on the lot, the town.
Okay. All right, then we'll wait to see what goes on there.
And if I could, one part of that, so the county commissioners invited a bunch of folks, and some of us went. We did hike out the beyond Jimstown Road and then even beyond Warm Creek to see how it's all tying in. So they are aggressively looking at how we're gonna, put it all together and try to keep the momentum that's been generated, keep that going. So they're speaking very, like it's coming. We just got to keep it moving.
I rode by there today on the bike and down by the end by where it comes into 522,
Yes,
Jimstown Road, there were probably 10 or 15 cars parked up there to the left.
right
They're
there.
picking up trash.
Okay. Yeah.
So I turned around, make sure.
Make it shine.
It looked-
How are you?
Okay.
So yeah, like I said, to me, it's a good news story. There's a lot of, at every level, there's a lot of folks engaged, and I think that's how we're gonna get it done.
Good deal. Good deal. Streetscapes.
Right before Pete left for a holiday, he got a call from a Burlington engineer about Independence Street and wanted to know what the town's thinking was behind the letter. I assume that you haven't received any response yet.
Not as far as up today. as
Yeah,
far
so
as-
it's been quiet for, since then. But he just got back this morning really early, so he didn't have a chance to write it up. But basically, they didn't have any input. They wanted to know why. Pete pointed out that the historic brochure, the brochure for historic bridges that features the Independence Street says that there's a sidewalk there. And that we expected a sidewalk to go back, and that he did not believe that the council was willing to budge on this.
Absolutely, we're not willing to budge. They,
It'll take them a little while to get back.
right,
They'll think on that.
yeah, we're not, because like I said, that's part of theirs, and that's a historical bridge. So they need to do what they need to do to keep it historical and put a sidewalk on.
He reminded them that they probably needed a memorandum of understanding with the Historic Landmarks Commission, similar to the ones that were required for the bridges in this state park,
Right.
Berkeley Springs State Park.
Did you hear that, Johnny?
No.
Okay. You know what we've been talking about, the bridge on Independence Street?
Correct.
I don't know if you've seen the pamphlet, it's historic. You may want to speak to it.
Yeah, I've seen the pamphlet.
Yeah. But
Yeah, they're gonna need a certificate of what,
Well, they had an MOA, memorandum agreement or memorandum MOU. of understanding. But that gets developed between SHPO and the local HLC. They have to sign off on it.
Alright.
And the DOH seemed a little unaware of that. It's Burlington, so it's not the state office.
right, it's not the state office, yeah, so, okay.
I guess what we'll need to do is make sure that he gets, that John gets a copy of that pamphlet and understands because.
Yeah, I don't have, but Pete will do a write-up and he'll make sure that you get the copy so that you can.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Who would be responsible for taking the lead on on drafting the MOU? The state?
What happened last time with the Berkeley Springs bridges, SHPO put together something, but they required the town's HLC to sign off before they would
But
agree.
they drafted it.
Yes.
Would your expectation
And
be
then
they
there's
do the
back and
same
forth a
here?
little bit to make sure that it covers what's supposed to happen.
But your expectation would be that would be how it would work this time with this?
Yes.
Okay.
And was there some resistance last time to do with the town?
It was during the time the HLC had kind of lost a lot of members, so we had to scramble to find somebody who could actually review it and sign it. But since then, the HLC's reconstituted, so there shouldn't be any.
Okay.
Yeah, we should have no problem this time,
Okay.
so, okay. All right, train depot.
All right, the DOH did their final walkthrough on the depot yesterday. They're very, very well pleased with it. It is getting wrapped up. We'll probably have Kevin there for another week. He has actually talked with the Lance Corporation into letting him do some painting on the outside because it's been almost 8 years since it was, the exterior was done. So he's doing a little touch up on the outside. The last thing will be the floor floors. The Mills Group architect is going to be there at 1:00 tomorrow to do a walkthrough. And what he and I are going to do is look at the Water Development Authority's economic enhancement grant program for, further development in the depot, meaning well, I'm talking about the street lights out front, the street lights, historic signage, furnishing inside, historic benches, that kind of thing, and maybe look at, getting plans drawn up for a bathroom facility. And so I'm going to talk to him about that. Of course, if I put in any kind of grant like this, I'm going to have, some estimates and some blueprints and things like that I can show and send along with it. So Jim King from the Mills Group will be here at 1:00 tomorrow, and we're going to talk about these things and try to put something together because, of course, they're interested in more work and see how that goes. Let me see, Mills Group, opening her, cleaning up. I've talked to Rodney, and I think you know this too, about cleaning the lot up a little bit, moving stuff away from the depot. The Lance Corporation also is very proud of their work there, and they're gonna be sending a photographer to do a whole shoot of it
Oh, great.
to promote themselves. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
That's great.
Well, they put out, we're in their company newsletter and like that.
Right.
So it's a
Right.
different project for them. So they're sending a professional photographer to get pictures of it and like that. So we'll need to, grass cut, when all this happens, the stuff moved away from the back of the lot and just picked up and, looking good. And, they want to work for us again too. So that's good. And I am looking.
Let
at-
me know when you want that done, because sometimes Rodney needs a little fire.
He needs help. Okay,
Just let me know.
You're the fire to do
I
that.
like the fire.
I
will
met
do
with him down there, because he wanted to know about the dirt farm, the bricks and everything. So we talked about what the next steps were for that.
Good.
And he's got a location for the tiles.
The tiles, yeah, they're important. Hopefully we can use them in the next building.
Yes.
So, so anyway, I'm doing that tomorrow, and like I said, I'm looking for early June. Hopefully the 2nd of June is what I'm shooting for at this point, but I've got to get myself together on this. I've got lists, I'll put
Right.
it that way. I've got my list and list of lists, so.
Okay.
That's what I got. Now, we have here too, the applications for use of town property, and I guess she put that there because, the depot lot. We talked about it in finance, though. One of the applications, and this is for the use of the depot lot, we have rented this to companies and like that to park cars there and all. One was the Trail Depot, which is the business across the street. They're going to have a grand opening on May the 28th, and they wanted to use the lot for parking and a temporary sanding block there. And so what we thought in finance is this is a new business. We're thrilled to have them. And so what I put on the application was $100 waived. And if it's okay with you guys, normally I think we would charge something for somebody having an event, but if it's, okay with you guys, I think that we should waive this and help
There's
them.
new business coming to town. I think,
You're looking at this one, right?
This one,
Yeah, okay.
I'm glad that
Okay, I'll make a motion that we waive the fee and
Okay.
approve the town depot.
Yeah, they're not charging people to park, it's just. a
Right.
grand
No,
opening, so-
right.
It's not indicated on the application, but have they provided their proof of insurance on file?
No, well, not to me, and, she didn't, Sharon didn't give me that, so I'll mention that to Sharon.
Right.
Yeah, they need to have that so that
They
we're
need
not
to have
liable.
liability
in any way,
insurance
shape,
in
or
case
form.
someone were to fall
Well,
down or something.
Once we have the copy of the insurance then.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Usually we're waiving the use.
Good.
Have a motion and a second on the floor. Do you have any more discussion?
Who was the second? Was that me?
Beth.
Okay.
All right, then I'll ask the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
Okay, the second one that we got is from Asplund Tree Experts. And what they want is to be able, on the depot lot, to park 6 to 8 lift trucks and employees' personal vehicles. As far as the dates they wanted to do that, they have on the application open-ended. Now, we have sent that back and said open-ended needs to be more clearly defined for both parties. If we need them to move at some time, we want to be able to move, So I've just sent that back
For
in.
years, they've been parking at either the Moose or the Legion. What happened with that?
I don't know.
This is a daily thing, a lot of trucks and
And
a lot
on
of cars.
weekends
So
too.
I know.
Yeah.
So I'm not, and they, like I said, they even have open-ended, so what the heck
I'm
does that
wondering
mean for them?
what
What does that
happened
mean
with
for
the
me?
What's gonna happen with the Apple Butter Festival where they're gonna move all that stuff and anytime we get the lot to
Then you want to
anybody
take
else.
pictures.
And when I wanna take pictures, and when we wanna, I don't think so either. But, we gave that back with more information needed.
And what would the price be charged
Yeah.
to them?
And we hadn't.
I mean, this
really
could be
told
like
them it would
forever
have to be,
Yeah,
some.
if it's open-ended, it could be as
monthly.
long as.
It would be
you know.
nice to know what the Legion or
Yeah,
Moose
but-
Church.
wait,
True.
well, what happened?
Yeah.
Why can't they still park there? Did
Yeah.
something, that's
Nobody
my,
knows.
that would be my question
Yeah.
before we dive
Maybe
into that.
Sharon
Be
can
a
try to
question
find
for us
out.
to go back and ask.
Yeah.
Why are you not parking at
Yeah.
Wherever they
Yeah.
were for years.
That's what,
Because we got a lot coming up to do on that parking lot.
That's
As
right.
things progress now, it's gonna be, cleaning up and getting ready to do the open house and, other stuff too, so.
Yeah.
Let's send that back.
Thank
And go
Yeah.
from there. All right. Good
all
deal.
right, those are those two.
All right.
items.
Well, then, we'll move on to clerk and reporters
No,
report.
landmark
Oh,
commission.
I'm sorry, landmark commission.
I thought you might skip me.
I was trying, but it just didn't work. They just told me to this agenda for some reason.
Yeah.
We're hoping.
So hopefully you guys got your package that showed some pictures that I sent out. So at the last meeting, you presented a letter from Mr. Brucey saying about signs. So I did find the signs that are already up in town. Um, I'm not sure about putting signs out around the bypass. Because as he states, he saw the signs, but he didn't stop. So us putting signs out on the bypass or in Maryland, how's that gonna entice
Right.
somebody to stop?
I would say signs that are more of an advertisement, the regular little state signs are okay, they're the brown thing,
Yeah.
you know.
But we need something.
But-
But
billboard
if you're
wise.
going from town to town, I mean, you're going someplace, you got an agenda. He had an
Absolutely.
agenda, he was going to meet somebody, right? He didn't take time to stop.
Yeah.
So all the ones that are on 70 and 68, they have an agenda, they're gonna go from point A to point B. Are they gonna see that sign and just automatically say, oh, let me divert over here?
No.
Yeah.
No, it's when you're
Right.
coming
I,
through
I get
town.
that, but the bypass, I think, needs to have
Why can't we do-
directions into
Yeah,
town.
why can't we do
I
both?
think the chamber was talking to DOH about signage at the roundabouts, the bypass.
They would
We
write that.
need bath, we need big, nice signs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
nice,
thought the Travel
appealing,
Berkeley
beautiful.
Springs and the
Yeah,
chamber.
I
has
think
been
they're
working
dealing
on
with
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the other things that I've heard brought up is naming the bypass, and I forget the name that was mentioned.
America's First Spa.
Okay, in my opinion, that bypass should be called a truck route, because that's what we want trucks on there. Any pretty name, any nice name, any historic name, any come visit us name ought to be what goes through town. That is a truck route, because
Yeah.
trucks will go on it. We want the other business and
Right.
the other people visiting and riding by the state park. So that's my opinion on, official state signage. Let it be a truck route.
So the route into down old 522 into town would be like the historic spa,
Right.
Yeah.
highway.
Scenic
I think that would be a good idea for
Beautiful.
This
us
way.
to write a
Please
letter
visit.
Right.
to.
Visit those
Stay on the
Historic town
bypass.
We can
Right.
call the truck route, northbound and down.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's,
That's
honestly, I think that's a good idea that we
Or
need
southbound.
to name this highway coming into town. It's gonna be the historical
That's all.
area of the town of Bath in Berkeley Springs. I'm not even worried about that thing out there. I don't care. They call that bypass 522. I really don't care. I mean, but I think there needs to be a catchy name, catchy slogan on there saying, hey, this is a historical town of Bath or in Berkeley Springs, first small town or whatever, something on that sign that draws those people. Hey, maybe I'll go in there and check that out,
John, can you, meet up with Stephanie about that?
So how does the sign fall under the Historic Landmark Commission?
Well, I'm thinking more.
Because then you can find out what sign they plan on putting out there. And if we need to put something historic about Berkeley Springs out there or not. But then we have to have
As Susan
permission
said,
from.
that bypass is for trucks.
We hope.
We don't
I
want the
don't
trucks to be
I don't
coming
want it
through
to have
town.
a-
So
Right.
they put a
I
sign out
understand
there.
that, but they could put a sign out there pointing, saying that come this way is historic Berkeley Springs.
Yeah, but the other thing is the road needs to be named, I mean, you know,
Oh,
coming into town some way, somehow.
Pick 'em on a
Something like
different
Berkeley
page
Springs
for
Historical
people.
Highway and Truck Route.
Well, and it already is the George Washington Trail.
Trail, yeah.
It already is that, but, just more
But still, there
marketing.
needs to be a
emphasis.
catchy, some type of catchy thing that,
Because I'll tell you what, around the interchanges, they're buying property. They're buying property,
Yeah.
and for businesses.
well, I'm
They're
gonna tell
buying
you,
commercial property, right?
it's just like John brought up here. I mean, if I'm going down to wherever south, I just did it 2 weeks ago. I didn't go into the town. I bypassed the bypass because I was going to a certain destination. That town wasn't my destination. Unfortunately, that's what's gonna happen out here. So we gotta have something catchy,
Aggressive,
so,
aggressive.
How
yeah.
about if we invite Travel Berkeley Springs and or the chamber to see what they've done on this and then what role the council should have in the Historic Landmark Commission to assist in seeing that this is done? Because I think they've been working on this for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Ever
Yeah, they
since the
have,
bypass
But
was
thinking of it,
approved.
I don't know if
Right.
they.
Like I said, I'm all against naming the bypass. I would just call it bypass, whatever. And I would name the road coming in and going out, and either way, as
They added
some
our
type
farm
of
truck
historical.
bypass.
You name that the first bypass or the nation's first when they're bypassing it. It's the
Right,
nation's
right.
first
Well, there's gonna be some
bypass.
trucks in town because they have to make deliveries.
Right,
Absolutely.
right.
And that's
Absolutely.
And we
That's the way it
understand
should
that.
have always been.
We
Well,
understand
here's the
that.
other thing, as soon as that road is usable, as soon as vehicles can go on it, this council can pass an ordinance, making any through trucks take the bypass. And through truck,
Local
no
delivery
through
only.
trucks
Here, here.
through
Or somebody
the town,
working,
only local
you know,
delivery.
somebody that works as a truck driver. I have no problem with them coming through here because they pay county taxes and all. I have no problem with that. Somebody that is a local truck driver, I don't have any problem with them coming through our town going home. If they gotta go out
Oh,
this
yeah,
way
right.
or,
But that's, you're coming here for a reason.
Right.
You're not, it's not.
but I think,
Through
so, yeah. So like I said, I think that's a good idea, Beth. If everybody's okay, I think we need to invite them to, come to a meeting and discuss with them or have
Where
an
they're at,
open
what we need to
discussion
do
with
to help.
them.
Yeah.
Maybe a few of us go have an open discussion with them.
Yeah.
Instead of bringing it here to the town council, maybe we ought to say, hey, we want to come and discuss, maybe a couple of us could discuss with them.
This is gonna get serious.
Yep.
This-
Yep.
It's gonna get serious fast.
All right.
Okay, so would you agree then that we met the intent of the letter?
I would say so.
Okay,
I would say so.
thank you.
You're on the money.
Next meeting is April 20th.
Good deal. All right. Clerk and recorder's report. Thank you, John. You have anything? Did she leave you with anything?
Nothing at this time.
Okay.
Okay, I don't have anything.
Okay. Then we'll move on to finance. Let's pay some bills.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to pay the town of Bath bills in the amount of $19,110.13.
I'll second it. Just note that on your thing. It has a
$3 change.
$3 change.
Okay. Have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the town of Bath bills in the amount of $19,110.13. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
I would like to make a motion to pay the Berkeley Springs Waterworks bill in the amount of $11,032.58.
Second.
Have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the town or Berkeley Springs Waterworks bills in the amount of $11,032.58. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
I would like to make a motion to pay this portion of the hotel motel distribution of $22,935.30.
I'll second, and that's the quarterly.
We have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the hotel motel in the amount of $22,935.30. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
I would like to make a motion to pay the train depot, the construction bill in the amount of $7,134.37.
Have a motion and a second on the floor to pay the train depot construction bill in the amount of $7,134.37. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries.
All we got.
All right, let's move to, I guess, the tree board.
We've pretty much covered tree board with the
Right.
Arbor Day.
All right, Grant.
Nothing to report
Okay.
right now. I don't think.
Then let's move to public safety.
Oh, okay, we have the resignation of Tony Link and the resignation of Daniel Swope. So we are, getting ready to put an ad in the paper for a business administrative person. And you can pick up an application and put in here at the town of Bath for that position. We interviewed 2 officers for, and we offered them both part-time positions with the town of Bath. Chief, have you heard anything back from them?
I have, they're ready to go as soon as we can get a good swearing in date.
Oh, nice.
Let me know. I'll make myself
Can you tell
available.
them
Let's
the
do-
names?
Let's,
Yes, one is Ron Gardner and the other is Chuck Hess.
both part-time
Yeah, we're
or?
bringing them on part-time.
Okay.
And then one of them is interested in full-time after his retirement, so
Right, I
We'll
remember,
just-
I remember that.
we're just checking to make sure everything matches up and we're a good match for them and they're a good match for us and everything,
And they're
so.
both certified.
Amen to that.
Yes.
Especially good.
Yes, so,
Okay.
okay.
Do you have anything else, chief?
No, I do not.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
chief. All right. Cemetery?
We met last Tuesday. and That's okay. One of the things that Chris and I discussed was requesting the town council for an agreement that we would be able to use, the cemetery corporation would be able to use $3,000 of our ARPA money for the drainage vegetation part of the mausoleum project. We had hoped that we would have hotel motel money, but there wasn't enough for that. So I'm asking, Chris agrees that this clearly falls under ARPA. And I'd like to ask the town for permission to use the $3,000 to do that part of the mausoleum project.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second on the floor to use the, what is the
Our American Rescue Plan Act.
Under COVID,
Yeah,
that's done.
okay.
Not
Um,
all about it.
So anyway, any discussion from anybody on council? All right, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
What was the second, was that Chris?
Motion. Great.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
Right, Steve.
Steve, all right.
George.
Steve.
That way,
What's your
next
name?
meeting, we're like,
Do we have anything?
I don't know if they have yet or not. All right, all those opposed? Okay, that motion carries.
The only other thing I have is we're in the middle of, we're near the end of finishing up our bid. It's been reviewed by Region 9. We're still waiting to hear from the county commissioners when we're gonna get the $30,000 that they pledged toward the project. Once we have that, we can move forward with the advertising and get the work done.
Good, good. Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, Public Works?
Yeah, I met with Rodney earlier today because I knew I would not be here till later. They're into the spring, summer mode. Instead of picking one day for the spring cleanup, they're just encouraging people to just put it out with the regular garbage and we can take it on a week-by-week basis. So as long as it's not 55 organic bags, we can
Right.
just do it weekly with the regular trash. And other than that, we're good.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Let me go back to Depot for a second. the floor sanding, Citizens National Bank, remember the bill was $1,800.
Right.
You and I talked about this.
From Shenandoah?
From
Is that-
Shenandoah, very wonderful price. And Citizens National Bank is giving us half of it, and within the depot funds that we currently have, we have about $18,000. We have enough to do the other half, because we need to make a move on that, so.
Right.
Okay, so that's it.
Okay, all right. Moving back down to ordinance.
The ordinance committee did not meet today. We had nothing on our agenda, so our next meeting is scheduled for May 2nd at 4:30.
What about the employee policy thing?
It's been shared with Dick Gay, and
Oh, okay.
we're waiting for his
For him to come back.
approval. And if anybody has, it's been shared with the council, so if anybody has comments on it, please let us know in the meeting.
Waterworks.
The water committee met yesterday. In terms of the water line replacement project, pretty much all the line is in the ground and connections made. And so we're 99% pretty much done with the major part of the work. However, we have a change order in place on the project that's going to extend it. We had additional money left that's going to allow us to do work that we originally wanted done that wasn't included over near Grand Hollow Trail, which is across by Keysucker's Realty across from Walgreens. There was some exposed line there that we needed to get into the ground, and we were able to go ahead and do that now. So we're doing that work. There's been also work, kind of cleanup work left in terms of overlay on Cornelius. There'll be 300 tons of overlay they're putting down there, and trench work, and then 300 tons of overlay in other places around where they've done digging and work. So, and then there'll be cleanup from there. They have extended their work time period 120 days from February 27th. So, we're over 30 days into that, so about 90 more days left for they'll be here off and on working, basically.
Right.
So that's where it is. That's where the project stands. So if anybody has any questions, let me know. Let's see. We have finally are going to be able to do some upgrades to our telemetry system that connects to in the plant. Our system is outdated and needs significant updates. So we're having a new system put in around April 17th, the week of. There will also be upgrades to the telemetry system that connects from Fairview Tower. That's the first phase of the project, the Fairview and the plant. And then the other towers will be upgraded later in time. So that work, we've been waiting for the supplies and things to come together for that to get done, and finally we're there. So around the week of the 17th, we'll have that started. We did interview yesterday evening a candidate for Assistant Superintendent of Water. Very good interview, and we subsequently decided to make an offer that has been accepted from Richard Mayhew. He is the chief operator in Terra Alta in Piedmont, West Virginia, in their systems. And he has passed his Class 3 operators certification and has 160 hours to officially be a Class 3. But yeah, it's Mayhew. And so we met him. We had a very good meeting with him, and so he'll start May 16th, Tuesday, May 16th, and then we'll have 5 months to work under Ron as the assistant, and then with the expectation that in October he will then be elevated to the superintendent. this position. So,
Cool.
yeah, that's a
I was
huge.
worried, I was worried we weren't gonna find.
Yeah,
over that.
it was a real find. And we've got potentially one other candidate we're looking at interviewing for our open, we have one other class 2 operator position open. So, we'll see about that. But for now, we've got the big piece of it.
Yeah, Rebecca, aren't you from Terra Alta?
Yes, I am.
She's from Terra Alta, so
All right.
we can find some, see how he did.
Well, it's too late, so
Too
don't.
late.
He's in.
Yeah. But no, he came highly with high recommendations from connections in the state that Ron has with the water systems, and we
That's a relief.
yes.
We bit
Yeah,
the
hanging
bullet
off
there.
wonderful.
Yeah,
I
we
mean,
bit the
you can't-
bullet.
Ron couldn't live, you
Yeah.
can't just walk out.
No,
It's awful.
so yeah, that's it's a huge weight off Ron and the rest of us. So,
Yeah, I bet.
So and that's all I have. So
All right, anybody have any questions? All right, this is the point of the meeting I come to where anybody out there in the public that wants to speak, you get 3 minutes, anybody? All right, I will entertain a common consent to adjourn then.
Yeah.
We're in adjournment.
That water guy's a big deal.
Yeah, right.